Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 edition of the Alachua County Youth Fair and Livestock Show. We're coming to you live here at the Alachua County Agriculture and Equestrian Center in Newberry, Florida. We've got two events lined up for today. Coming up next is Livestock Judging. Once that ends, we'll take a break and come back at 5:55 p.m. in time for the Swine Showmanship Contest. But now, your time is running out to buy your tickets for a chance to win a 14-foot Delta stock trailer, fully loaded, everything except the cattle, generously donated by our friends over at Texas Trailers. Tickets for this giveaway are $20 each, and all proceeds go to the Alachua County Youth Fair and Livestock Show. To see the rules or to purchase a ticket online, go to acyfls.com. Scroll down the page a bit until you see a picture of the trailer. Click on this link and you can buy your trailer tickets right there. Good luck! And remember Texas Trailers for your trailer needs. Whether you need a trailer to carry your livestock or your lawnmowers, your construction equipment or your golf cart, whatever the need, there's a Texas trailer that can handle it. Visit them on North Highway 441, that's Northwest 13th Street in Gainesville. And when you do, please tell them thank you for sponsorship of the Alachua County Youth Fair and Livestock Show. We're now going to take you to the arena floor where they're preparing to get underway. As you know, we don't talk over the show. Instead, you'll see and hear the show just as if you were sitting here in the arena with us. Enjoy the show.
To this side of the arena and stand over here. So all my ones, come on down. Make sure your names are on your scorecards, and whenever we announce the class, make sure you put the class as well and what it is. All of the ones. And it might be a little tight, guys, so kind of get shoulder to shoulder. All right. Y'all, I'm going to put my twos right here. All my ones, kind of get over here, guys. Get over here. All right, all my twos, you're going to start from here to the my right, to your left. So twos here, ones here. It's the second number on your card. And don't stand next to any teammates or anybody from your county or your club or 4-H or FFA chapter. All right, got my twos right here in this area. And I'm going to bring y'all, yep. And then I need all my threes in this corner to my right. So threes are right here where I'm at, number threes. And then I need all my number fours over here on this far side. And I need all the contestants to come down to the arena. I need your backs to the class. The first class is going to be Market Hogs, so class 1 is Market Hogs. All right, we just want to welcome you to the 2024 Alachua County Livestock Judging Contest. Good luck to everyone. Make sure, again, your names are on your cards. This is going to be Class 1 Market Hogs. You're going to have 12 minutes to judge this class. And then when you're done judging, I have volunteers around the arena to hand the cards to. If my volunteers could please raise your hand. That's who you're going to give your cards to and turn in. Please don't talk to anyone in your club, 4-H club, FFA chapter, none of that. We don't want any cheating today. If I see teammates talking to each other, I will excuse you from the contest. Let's have a fun time, and we will have, I believe, 6 classes, correct? 12 minutes apiece, yep, 6 classes total. One of them will be a questions class, and we will let you know which one of those it is. And then I believe they'll do awards shortly after they get all of your cards turned in. All right, we're going to bring the hogs in just a few minutes. Just give us a second. All right, guys, turn around. Your time starts now. This is going to be Class 1 Market Hogs. And the number to the animal goes with the exhibitor that's walking the pig. So number 1 is over there, 2 is over here, and then 3, and then 4. All right, guys, make sure your name is on the card, your class placing, as well as this is Class 1 Market Hogs. If you need help learning how to fill out the card, please raise your hand and we'll come around and assist you as well. And if you're ready to turn in your cards, you absolutely can, but you do not have to. You have about 5 minutes left.
Everybody understand how to mark the card? Good? Hey guys, if you mark 2 spots on there, they won't know which one and you get a 0. Okay? You just mark one placing.
Make sure you only mark one time on the card. Don't mark 2 placings, just mark 1. And if you're done with the class and you turn your card in, if you want to turn around and get ready for the next class, that's fine. And then you have still how many minutes left? You have about 1 minute and 30 seconds left. All right, make sure you turn in your card. Time is in. My volunteers, if you can get the cards from them and then give them to Miss Vaughn or somebody at the office, that'd be great. Make sure you turn your cards in.
All right, we're going ahead and talk the first class here today, being the market hogs. We felt like a pretty logical class came together. It could offer you some challenge in some areas, but we ultimately elected to use the 3 gilt to go on ahead and start the class. Felt like one that was pretty fall-free. She still hits you as a market hog. She's the biggest legged, soundest footed gilt of the class. Still gives you a decently neat look up front. She's big shaped and capacious. Just a really, really fault-free, logical place to go on ahead and start here. We think from there probably is where you found a little bit more of your challenge in the class, but we ultimately went on ahead and used the blue hog. Probably one that's a little bit bigger bone. He comes at you with some decent shape and mass. I think ultimately where the pair sorts itself is when you get on top of him. You probably want to make that guy just a little bit bigger about his upper rib. I think study him coming at you. He still comes with plenty of width. He just a really good meat animal there to come on ahead in second. I think from there we went on ahead and used the Stouter Scold bear of the class. You study that one coming at you. He probably is one of the better looking bears of the class. Extremely fault free in terms of his structure, the way that he gets out here and roams. He's a really, really, really longevity kind of a bear. I think from there, that's where he just started to disappoint us. You get behind him, you study him coming at you. He's one of the narrowest space hogs of the class. We just want to see that guy with some more genuine width and actual shape. He appreciates his front 1/3, especially when he poses up there, gets his head up. That's a really stout Scold kind of a bear. It gives you a really, really neat look. And then we went on ahead and rounded out the class with the Calico Gilt. I think you appreciate that one just in her extra length of body. If you're an old timer, you probably like the pork chop she's going to give you. But outside of that, we need to see her bigger through her center rib. We need to see that gal with way more base width. Just a really easy one to go on ahead and slide out the class. So with that, your official placing is 3, 2, 4, 1. We cut you 3, 3, and 5.
All right, back to the class. We're going to bring in Market Steers Class 2. Market Steers Class 2. If you guys have Miss Bailey from Santa Fe FFA as your advisor, she wants you guys to do reasons on this class. We're also going to do this class for questions, so just be ready to answer some questions. Take good notes because you will not be looking at the animals when these questions are being asked. All right, this is going to be Class 1 Market Steers. Again, this is going to be a questions class. You'll write your answer to the questions on the back, but don't worry about that right now. Just judge the class, take some good notes, and then we'll do the questions after we're done. Class 2 Market Steers. try to stay in your respected areas, but if you need to see different views, please feel free to walk around if you can't see it. All right, we got 4 minutes left. We're going to go back to the profile view in just a little bit after you see the rear view, and then we're going to ask you 10 questions. So on the back of your card, write 1 through 10, and we'll ask those questions in just a little bit. You still got 4 minutes to judge this class and take notes. All right, guys, you have about 45 seconds, and you will turn the backs to the class in about 45 seconds. All right, guys, that's time. Turn your backs to the class. Get ready to answer some questions.
All right, you guys are going to number on the back of your card 1 through 10. There's going to be 10 questions. Number 1 is, which steer has the swollen knees? Which steer has the swollen knees? Number 2, who is the most moderately framed steer of the class? Who is the most moderately framed steer of the class? Number 3, which steer gives the most balanced look from a profile view? Which steer gives the most balanced look from a profile view? Number 4, who is the biggest frame steer of the class? Who is the biggest frame steer of the class? Number 5, who is the most upright in the set to their tailhead? Who is the most upright in the set to their tailhead? Number 6, which steer is the widest down his top? Which steer is the widest down his top? Number 7, who is the flattest in their muscle pattern and the most shallow through their center body? Who is the flattest in the muscle pattern and the most shallow through their center body? Number 8, which steer pops his pasterns when set into motion? Which steer pops his pasterns when set into motion? Number 9, which steer is most comfortable when set into motion? Which steer is most comfortable when set into motion? And number 10, who is the smoke-colored steer of the class? Who is the smoke-colored steer? All right, does anyone have any questions they need repeated? All right, we'll go back through all of them one time. Number 1, which steer has the swollen knees? Number 2, who is the most moderately framed? Number 3, which steer gives the most balanced look from a profile view? Number 4, who is the biggest framed steer? Number 5, who is most upright in the set to their tailhead? Number 6, which steer is the widest down his top? Number 7, who is the flattest in their muscle pattern and the most shallow through their center body? Number 8, which steer pops his pasterns when set into motion? Number 9, which steer is most comfortable when set into motion? And number 10, who is a smoke-colored steer? If you have all the all the answers written down, you guys can go ahead and turn your cards in.
All right, get your cards turned in. And then we will talk to class. Get your cards turned in. When you turn your card in, turn and face towards the ring so I know that you're already done. All right, does everyone have their cards in? Last chance, last chance. Please turn your card in for Class 2 Market Steers. My card, volunteers, are y'all good? Y'all have all the cards? We're good? Okay, Mr. Wade, Ms. Hoffman. All right, guys, so what an interesting class today. A really nice class. I like how this class broke up in the committee. Overall, we all agreed on the same thing for the most part. So for me, let's talk about each one individually, then we'll talk about placings. For the number 1 steer, a really attractive steer from the side. I can appreciate how well he blends his pieces together the best, and he really gives you a nice look. And what other things that he brings to the table, he has some width at the floor, or a wide base. He's got some depth of body, and he also has some muscle down his top and out of his hip. Just a really good looking guy that can that you like to see in the ring. One thing I might want to change about him, just to be super nitpicky, you might want to make him just a touch stouter in his hip and maybe make him just a touch wider down his top. When you get one that looks that good and brings a lot of those good pieces together, it's kind of hard to get away from him. And then the number 2 steer, the smoke color steer, I really like the depth of body. I love how wide he is down his top and how he carries that width all the way through his pin. He's probably one of the widest out of his pin set. He's huge in terms of his muscle shape out of his hip, and he stands wide at the ground. One thing that me personally, I would like to change about this guy. I think that he's a little bit shorter and more moderate in his frame. I would like to see him a touch larger. I would like him to move softer off of his rear too, but nonetheless, a really good looking steer that will also probably a great choice. He has optimal amount of finish on him, and I would like to see him a little bit more attractive through his front 1/3, but that doesn't really matter in terms of a market steer class, just something to talk about in the reasons room. And then you get this solid black steer in third, or the number 3 steer. Really love how long and extended he is. I love his height and his how large he is in his frame score. One thing, or a few things I'd like to change about him, I would like to make him heavier muscled. I also like to make him deeper bodied, wider down his top, and have a shot more muscle out of his hip, and make sure that he fix him structurally to make sure that he can get around the ring a little bit better as he gets out and goes. And then the number 4 steer, I really like how long and extended this guy is as well. I love the amount of muscle mass and capacity he has out of his hip on his rear too. He really wants to get straight out of his hock and pop in his pasterns when he walks around and goes. I would like to see him a touch deeper body to balance him out better. I can appreciate how long and extended he is on his front 1/3, but nonetheless, another solid heavy market steer to round up the class. So there was a little bit of discussion, but I think overall there was possibly a top pair to discuss and talk about. Our top pair was 1/2. And then we thought that the number 4 steer went in 3rd place pretty easily, and then the number 3 steer went last in this class. So the final placings of this class is 1, 2, 4, 3, and we cut it 2, 4, and 5. All right. We're going to excuse the steers, and then we'll go over the questions.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over the answers to the 10 questions. For number 1, the steer that had the swollen knees was number 3. You could see it especially on his off-show side. Those knees were pretty swollen. Number 2, the most moderately framed steer of the class was that smoky steer. Number 3, Who gave the most balanced look from the profile? That was your class winner, number 1. 4, who is the biggest framed? That was going to be number 4, the steer on the end. Number 5, who is the most upright in their tailhead? That is again number 4. Number 6, which steer is the widest down his top? That was number 2, the smoky steer. Number 7, who's the flattest in their muscle pattern and the most shallow through their center body? That was the 3 steer. Which steer pops on his pasterns when set into motion? That was the number 2 steer again. Number 9, which steer was the most comfortable when set into motion? That was the 1 steer. And number 10, the smoke-colored steer, that was number 2. All right, go ahead and turn your backs to the class. We're about to bring in class number 3. That's going to be Market Weathers. All right, you guys can go ahead and turn around. Time is in for class 3, Market Weathers.
We got about 8 minutes left. 8 minutes. All right, we got about 2 minutes left, just about 2 minutes left. Got 1 minute left, 1 minute remaining. All right, we're going to go ahead and have you guys mark your cards and turn them in. It's the end of the class. Go ahead and mark your cards and turn them into your leaders. All right, we got all of our cards turned in? Everyone turned in? All right, we're going to go ahead and talk these as individuals here. We're just going to talk them down the line. Start with the speckled goat to go on ahead. I think one that you appreciate in terms of his length and dimension out front of his shoulder. He's probably a decently well-balanced wether. He doesn't really blow you away in any one area. You get behind him, he's cleaned up or you get in front of him, he's cleaned up in his chest floor. He ties out of his blade really well. I think you get behind him. He has adequate shape. Probably doesn't blow you away in any area. He's a bit bolder about his spring to his center rib today. I think that maybe deviates off of the actual shape he carries over his rack and loin edge, but you just appreciate that goat for what he has. I think we come on here to the 2 goat. That's another one who's probably on the lower end of the spectrum. Maybe you want to give him some more genuine shape and muscle. I think you get on top of him, it's the same story. Coming at you, going away from you. You just need to see that guy with just more today. He probably disappoints you in 1 or 2 more areas. I think maybe where our discussion came a little bit more was with the 3 and 4 goats down here on the line. Really, really appreciate that 3 goat. He's one when he first walks in the ring, he just hits you as a show goat. That guy ties outside of his front shoulder and out of the point and top with so much elevation, length, and extension. You study him coming at you. He's probably the most cleaned up in his chest floor. He's one of the framier goats of the class. Get him on the move. Although he doesn't really want to cooperate today, he's probably one of the more athletic and agile goats of the class. I think from there, in a comparative sense where we want to change him, he maybe is, or maybe not change him, he is one of the more expressive goats of the class. maybe just a little bit differing in terms of his type and kind compared to the foregoat. Foregoat's just an absolute bulldog. You study that guy coming at you, going away. He comes with so much genuine shape and mass. That guy is so opened up and square off either end. You get on top of him, he lays in a really, really big rack and loin edge. Probably one that's on the more extreme end of it. And then you put them all together, and things get interesting. There was a lot of talk and discussion for us in the committee, but we ultimately decided to use the four-weather to start the class, and we only cut you one up there on top. We think one that just balances and puts all the pieces together today. He's probably one of the more attractive goats of the class, so we went on ahead and started there. I think from there, it was pretty logical to go on ahead and slide the 30 goat into the second hole. One that does carry the advantage in terms of the extra added expression that he brings to the table. I think just unfortunately, when you get in front of him, you get behind him, it's just a comparative sense, and ultimately he didn't have the extra width and dimension. He's one that didn't want to cooperate as well, so we just felt a little bit more comfortable using him in second. From there, we decided to use the spotted up goat, one that's still, in terms of his type and kind, he balances together fairly well. We want to see him with a little bit more expression, maybe a little bit fuller about his foreflank. And then from there, we just want to see that guy with more, maybe a little bit more of his top. He just deviates ever so slightly. And then we rounded out the class with the 2 goat. We felt like that was a pretty logical decision. Everywhere we just got to make that guy, we just got to have him come with more, need more shape, need more dimension, need more expression. Still want him to maybe bring him with a little bit more of the extra pieces today. So rounding that out, the official placings is 4, 3, 1, 2. We cut you 1, 3, and 1. And our next class we're going to bring in the ring is going to be the breeding heifers, class number 4.
All right, so class 4 that's fixing to come in, make sure you have your backs to the class, guys. Turn around and have your backs to the class. Class 4 is going to be open heifers or lightweight heifers. Class 4 is going to be open heifers. And just a reminder, please do not talk to your teammates, even if they're not on your team. Don't talk to each other. We're still in a contest mode. Please, no talking. All right, guys, turnaround time is in. Again, this is class 4 open heifers. You have about 7 more minutes. 7 minutes.
Okay, we got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. Mark your cards. Make your final decisions. All right, guys, time's up. Go ahead and turn in your cards, please. Turn in your cards. And contestants, please do not sit, stand, lounge on the white railing. Please come to the rail and participate in the contest. Or sitting in a chair. All of the above. Everybody got their cards in? Okay, we're going to talk this class of open heifer calves, and I think there's a pretty logical place to start in this class, and that's with this number 4 heifer. She's the most complete, the most fault-free. When you look at her from the side, you just love the way this heifer's built and made through the front third of her skeleton. She's so big and has so much capacity to the center portion of her rib. When you get behind her, she's got plenty of pin width, plenty of base width, heifer that's just really nice in the way she's made. But I think one place that this heifer excels really well is she has all this power and all this body, but she's super, super sound. So we found, the committee overwhelmingly found that heifer to start the class pretty handedly. Then we moved down in here to this number 1 heifer to go second. She's a heifer that we really like the way she's made. She's really fresh in her appearance today, really long and level through her hip. We like the way she's made through the front third of her skeleton. Maybe would like to give her a little bit more pizzazz in her overall look. She wants to get a little plain in the terms of the way she's made in terms of her muscle pattern. Certainly appreciate the body, but I think where we'd really like to set her up is in terms of bone. She gets pretty frail made at the ground for us, just kind of falls away in a plainer overall look. Then we've got a bottom pair between 3 and 2, and you kind of have to start to scratch your head. Do we go with one with body, or do we go with one that's got more muscle and power? Today the committee decided to go with the heifer number 3 that ends up third in this class. She's the smaller heifer, yes, but she's got the most muscle. I mean, this heifer's got the biggest top, biggest waist width. If we could change anything about her, certainly we'd like to relax her in terms of her rear 2 legs as she gets out and moves. A female that we'd maybe like to lengthen out her muscle pattern as she gets more terminally made. She starts to kind of look like a steer. The heifer calf that comes in and rounds out the class is number 2 here, and she just gets really plain, really flat. Heifer that kind of wants to hawk in when you watch her move away. She loses the amount of muscle mass to compete with anything in the class today, so we put her 4th. So the final placings is 4-1, 3-2, with cuts of 6, 2, and 3. All right, turn your backs to the class, please. This will be class 5, breeding does. Please turn your backs.
Well, that's it for our livestock judging this afternoon. We're going to take a break now, but we'll be back live at 5:55 p.m. for swine showmanship. Be sure to join us. We'll see you then.